What's up everyone? Today we're going to be working on the Mark III Supra. Now this year we're going to be taking on 2 major road trips, 1 power tour and 1 no-name nationals, which each one of them from point A to point B to point A back, about 1,000 miles there, a little bit more, so 3,000 miles for each trip. We want this thing to be at least somewhat comfortable, and one of the trips, the missus is coming with me, so we definitely want to make it comfortable. Now, we have headers on it, we have a 3-inch exhaust. The thing's going to be a little bit loud. It has 430 rear diff, so it may drone a little bit on the highway, and we kind of want to cut that down a little bit. I did go ahead and strip out the really terrible sound deadening that was in there. That'd be this stuff right here. I did that in the winter because if you do it below 40 degrees, the colder it is, the better. If you do it during the summer, the stuff becomes very tacky and very pliable. And then you have to use dry ice or some way of cooling that down. It's a miserable nightmare. Better to just deal with the cold and just tap it out with a hammer like you can see right here. And you just give her little taps. Tap, tap, tap. And then once you do that, the stuff literally just falls right off. And just be done with it. So now, we're going to take the floor, bring it from here, or this, to this. This stuff is really inefficient. It's very thick, it's very heavy. Some of the stuff that kind of sits on the fender wells, or the wheel wells rather, is kind of like what you'd find in plaster of Paris construction. It's also very heavy and it's a nightmare to come off. It doesn't matter how cold it is, this stuff will fight you. So what are we putting in its place? We're going to use a sound deadening material. This is not sponsored or anything. When I was on my last road trip, we had Donnie B from Texas actually showed it to me. It's very similar to Dynamat. It's Kilmat, and it's really inexpensive. I think I paid 60 bucks for a big box of it. On Amazon, I ordered a couple of them. One box was able to do the Buick's interior, excluding the doors, and I figure what's left of, what was left of the box and what I have for this should be able to handle the Supra, no problem. We'll go over how to install it in this, but first we need to go ahead, start vacuuming up the floor, scuff it up with a little bit of Scotch-Brite. Nothing really crazy, but just more to get the oils, any residual tar, stuff like that off of it. And then we're going to clean it with the isopropanol wash, and then just start applying it. It's pretty straightforward, so let's go ahead and get into it. So the next step is to be able to shoehorn ourselves in here enough to be able to do some work and get this all vacuumed out. Now, there's definitely a lot of remnants of the critters that were living in here, so we got to go through and just clean it all out. It is gross. So once that's done, again, some Scotch-Brite, a little bit of alcohol. Not only will that help remove residue of the existing stuff that's on there, but help remove any smells, contaminants from the critters. Don't forget when you're doing this, especially if something's been living in the car, take all of the interior out. Can't see it very well from that angle, but there's a lot of nooks and crannies in these vehicles. You gotta get them, whether it's just little places like this or the superstructure of the roof. Gotta get it all out. Everything must go. Fire sale. And then pretty straightforward, let's get vacuuming. So now that you got this all vacuumed up, you're going to want to go ahead, use your screwdriver, some Brillo pad. You don't want to use anything too aggressive that will take the paint off. Really all you're trying to do is get a nice clean surface. The scraper works great. Good old beat up gasket scraper. You're going to be able to get in to all your little nooks and crannies, get this stuff off. And you're going to run it just like that. Still a pretty chilly day. It's like 45 or something. So a lot of this stuff is still just coming up pretty easy. You can see I've been already kind of going at it a little bit. And then once you get there, your Brillo pad, just trying to knock it down as best you can. And then don't tell the missus, you can already see back over in this area. I've already done it. Let me go back over here. Baby wipes. So before we do the isopropanol, this is going to have a nice gentle soap, detergent, and you're going to be able to just wipe it down. Get as much off as you can before using the isopropanol, because this will allow you to get a nice scrub to it. Then, you can see, like we still have this here. If you don't get all of it off, I guess it's not the end of the world, but you're going to have an uneven surface, and we're trying to get this to be as nice and clean of an install as possible. You want to get all of this. Now, don't start scraping your panel seal. Don't scrape that off. So, like, there's none there. But this stuff here, don't scrape that off. We're only looking for, like, this stuff here. So I've allowed these things to sit in the sun for a little while so that they'd be nice and warm. You're going to want them to be fairly warm in this case. Cold to take it off, warm to install it. It's kind of why there's been a time difference between when I started stripping this stuff out and now. And we're going to only kind of slightly overlap our cross member here for the seat. Okay. Here's my roller. I'm going to use your roller. You're going to want to flatten these things out. And in your tight spots, use the handle and just ride it. Just like that. In areas where you don't, it really sinks in. I know it's not fun, but it's not a big deal. You can use your hand. Again, not sponsored stuff, just for the price, you can't beat it. It's great. It's inexpensive. This is the 50 mil stuff, so it's thinner. You can go 80. You can double up to 50s for the 100. Again, you're going to want to do this while it's warm. It's a lot more pliable, malleable, if you will. And you're just going to keep doing this. You want to work this stuff in there as best you can. Try to get it nice and flat. Try to avoid tearing it. A little tear there, not a big deal, but try to avoid tearing it. Work with the aluminum shielding. Alright, I'll be right back. I'll get this whole side done, and then we'll reconvene. That's all I can get done today. I was able to knock out the entire floor, a good portion of the actual roof. We'll cover that another day, but there's a little bit left done on the target top. I was able to, scoot over on this side, I was able to double up on the transmission well. I figured this way, with the headers right there, as well as the transmission, we'll be able to reduce the amount of heat coming in by twice the factor. So through here is doubled up, the rest is just one layer. Spent a lot of time to get it so that all the nooks and crannies were filled. It was definitely a lot more complicated to lay out than inside a GM A-body. That's a lot more flat. There's a lot of ridges, predominantly because it's a unibody and that gives the vehicle strength. It's got a lot more folds and stuff than the satellite, and that's a unibody as well. But I don't know how 20 years of difference in technology, whatever. So I'm just happy that it's coming together. Now we have to see what's going on with the carpet kit, get that in there, get the seats in there. I did talk to my guy for the exhaust. All he's going to do is just do a couple bends so that we can line up the headers to the exhaust that we purchased. It's about a couple feet, and then if I have to do the welding, I'll do the welding. It doesn't matter. I just need those bends so that they're correct. They got to come in and they have to meet, and then it's going to go into a 1 inch, and 3 inch, and that 3 inch will meet up with the exhaust. So that's going to be Sunday. I have other things I need to do, but I will be picking up the next time I can work on the car is 2 days from now. So look for that video. We are progressing very quickly on this. I am going to be looking to sneak down to the salvage yard. I have a mission I need to accomplish, so hopefully we'll be able to get some great footage with the new camera there. I'm really excited about that. So, as always, take your time, do the preparation to make it right, and the end product will be great. So, until next time, remember, keep your shiny side up, and God bless.